y'all. It's your girl, the real deal, Lanita Skills Reaction. Like, share, and subscribe. Good evening. Let me start over, y'all. I'm still trying to thaw out, okay? Let's start over. Hey, y'all. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is in your country. This is your girl, the real deal, Lanita Skills Reaction. Yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to all my workers. Shout out to the Real Deal Gang. Shout out to from my Real Deal Gang in other countries. What's up, people? I have a topic for y'all today. But before we do that, let's go with some little live rules. Okay. First of all, I want to thank y'all for being here. That's one thing. Please be respectful and participate in the live conversation. Don't forget to smash that like button. Thanks for being here. Relax and enjoy the content. Please stay on topics. And thanks for watching. So, excuse me, y'all. Today, I want to talk about one of parents' worst nightmare. I want to share a video with y'all. Give y'all time to get in here, okay? Y'all smash that like button, okay? Appreciate it. But I want to get everybody time, but I'm going to get my introduction before everybody get in here, that a parent has to work. The parent is gone 8 hours from their babysitter. And I know you at work, you wondering, are they okay? I don't care how much the babysitter say, oh, they'll be all right. Okay, they'll be all right, but still you gonna worry, okay? You gonna worry about your child. Because people act different when they are around you. But you pray that, please make sure they treat my baby all right. But you can tell if your baby ain't been treated right. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, because they just babies. But it is sad for every parent nightmare to get out from work, somebody call, you get a call from work and somebody say, your baby, something is wrong with your baby. Somebody call you on your job, babysitter call you on your job and tell you something don't happen to your baby. I want y'all to think within your heart, what are you saying to yourself? I know it's going to be a little hard on some of y'all. Excuse me. I know it's going to be a little hard on some of y'all because you can't. It's sad, and I feel sorry for parents. That's why I should have went on to this babysit a couple of kids. But I be don't spoil their kids. But in this video today, you're going to watch, it's going to be a parent worst nightmare. It's going to be a parent worst nightmare. And it's so sad that you can't trust your babysitter. So I would tell anyone, you need a babysitter, make sure you get a good one. Ask some of your friends about the good one. Go visit the area where your kids are going to be. Look around, see who are all in the house. Any other little kids in that house that stayed there. Because I don't see a lot of little folks' family beating up on somebody's little child. This video is for entertainment purposes, criticism, teaching, comment, research, and purposes. The purposes of this video is to make sure you know who is watching your child. So we're gonna turn the music down. I'm gonna give a couple of people time to get in here before I show this video. But keep in mind, people, this is a reaction channel, okay? This is a reaction channel. Hope everybody's doing all right today. Everybody full, they don't have something to eat. And at the end of the show, in the middle of the show, we're going to drop that link. Anything you want to share about your worst nightmare, about your babysitter, what scared you, what made you change your mind about letting that person, what made you keep the babysitter keep your child, what trusted you with that babysitter. So I'm going to give y'all about 3 more minutes to get in here, and then we're going to get it, and then we're going to go with it, okay? Okay, I don't have all night, so I'm going to get started. Let me turn my music down. Also, this video is parental guidance. You have to get permission from your parent to watch this. Excuse me, y'all. Oh, I didn't mean to turn my outfit down. Okay. 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 Okay, I would think this video will be parental guidance, so I'm gonna place it up there and put it right there. Okay, because we're dealing with kids, a baby, and y'all know how I feel about babies, women, and children. Okay. Okay, here we go.
And she's fine, and all of a sudden, Joe got this.
Hold on, yeah.
Hi, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's going on?
Okay, my name is Winston. I babysit kids.
Yes.
We just dropped her off, and all of a sudden, she just passed out.
Who's passed out?
The little girl is 3. She felt pretty bad yesterday, and she was fine, and then all of a sudden, we drove by this morning, and she walked in and she kind of passed out. She went,
Okay.
I don't know.
Are you with her now?
Yes, those are.
Okay. I got a problem with this video from the very beginning. They just dropped the baby off. Let's go back and look at this. This is a reaction channel, y'all. We gotta stop. We gonna break this down. The parents just dropped their baby to the babysitter. Listen to this.
Hi, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's going on?
Okay, my name is Lindsay. I babysit kids.
Yes.
We just dropped her off, and all of a sudden she just passed out.
All of a sudden, she just passed out.
Who's passed out?
The little girl is 3. She felt pretty bad yesterday, and she was fine. And all of
Wait a minute, she what? Hold on. Was she what yesterday? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to figure this out. Y'all gonna have to make sure. That's why I'm starting back over and go back a little bit, because you're gonna have to listen to this girl right here. Listen to her story. She the babysitter.
Hi, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's going on?
Okay, my name is Lindsay. I babysit kids.
Yes.
We just dropped her off, and all of a sudden she just passed out.
Who's passed out?
The little girl is 3. She felt pretty bad yesterday, and she was fine. And all of a sudden, we drove by this morning, and she walked in, and she kind of passed out. She went limp.
Okay.
I don't know.
Are you with her now?
Yes, go to that. Go to. Yes, hurry, please, Dad, because I'm home.
Okay. Is she awake right now? I want to stay alone with me. I have to ask you a few questions while my partner gets to the next dispatch. Okay. Is she breathing?
Yes, in and out.
Okay.
Yes, in and out. I told her what's wrong.
Okay. Is her breathing completely normal?
Oh, yes, almost on. Hurry, please.
Now, you the babysitter. You need to calm your butt down, because them parents, they at work, and they haven't even gotten to see what's going on with you. Okay, you haven't even called them yet, and so they can check on their baby. But I guess she did, but they just didn't show that part. That's it.
Okay, lay down on her back.
That's out.
Lay her down on her back and let her head tilt back.
I hear somebody there talking with them. Lay her flat on the back. Lay her down. Okay.
Okay. She's still unconscious, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's unconscious. Her eyes are open, and she's like gasping for air.
Her eyes are open, and she like gasping for air. Oh, baby. Oh, Lord. If you look around the room looks so nice, y'all. It look like a daycare. You got your little toys. You got your little library section. She got it set up real good. This is a daycare center. I was trying to think what it is at somebody's house, but it is at someone else. They got it set up good. They got somewhere to hang up the book bags. I get those book bags.
What's the matter? I don't know what could be wrong with her.
I don't know. She was fine. We just walked in the house.
She got up, brushed her teeth?
She got to brush her teeth. I don't know.
Lindsay, it's okay. They're on the way.
We just walked in the house and just passed out.
Hey.
Parkinson.
Hey. Look at daddy. And okay.
That's the dad talking to her, y'all. Now the dad done showed up from work.
You're okay. I love you.
Anna.
And that's the mom.
Love you, Buttercup.
Hey.
Oh, wake up. There we go.
The woman in this 911 call is 35-year-old Lindsay Parton of Butler County, Ohio. The distraught babysitter made the call after one of the children in her care, 3-year-old Hannah Weshy, abruptly passes out while at her home. But when confronted about exactly what happened to Hannah leading up to the tragedy, Lindsay would end up changing her story an unbelievable 7 times.
Okay, this is the babysitter. She changed her story 7 times. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. Come on, 7? Look at the beautiful smile. See the smile that they put in our face?
Leaving detectives to work out what or who Lindsay was trying to hide. On Thursday, March 8, 2018, Jason Weshy and his young daughter Hannah woke at dawn. As they did every morning, just like any other day, Jason got ready for work, then got Hannah ready to be dropped at her babysitter, Lindsay Parton's house. Despite being next-door neighbors, Jason's house is approximately 300 feet away from Lindsay's. Hence, he regularly drove to drop his daughter off every morning instead of walking. Jason would later recall that on this particular morning, instead of wanting to sit in his lap and drive like she usually did, Hannah crawled into the back seat and laid.
See, Anna's sick. Anna not feeling good. So this did come from the house. Cause he said Anna used to sit in his lap. Now Anna crawled to the back of the seat and laid down. Laid down. Something not right with Anna when she was with the daddy.
Down, which was very unusual for the energetic toddler. About 5 minutes after texting Lindsay to let her know that they were on the way over, Jason's car pulled into her driveway. Lindsay went into her garage to meet the pair. Jason set Hannah down in front of Lindsay, then gave her a hug and a kiss before he turned to leave. Hannah called him back, asking for double kisses, and Jason gave his daughter more kisses and hugs before assuring her that he'd be back later, then rushed out to make the hour commute to work. He had no idea the horror that would occur just minutes after he turned his back. Lindsay escorted Hannah inside the house where the little girl asked if she could sit on the couch and eat a donut before breakfast. Hannah then began to remove her jacket, and in the next moment, she fell limply to the floor. At least, that's what Lindsay Parton told detectives about what had happened when she...
Nancy. Okay, let's look at this face. Let's look at this face. You see this face? That's the babysitter. This the baby.
Hannah called him back, asking for double kisses, and Jason gave his daughter more kisses and hugs before assuring her that he'd be back later, then rushed out to make the hour commute to work. He had no idea the horror that would occur just minutes after he turned his back. Lindsay escorted Hannah inside the house where the little girl asked if she could sit on the couch and eat a donut before breakfast. Hannah then began to remove her jacket, and in the next moment, she fell limply to the floor. At least, that's what Lindsay Parton told detectives about what had happened when she spoke to them later that morning.
So, take us back to this morning when Chuck and Hannah gets your
Yes, we walked in the door like normal.
to the front door.
Back door, where you guys came in, and sat her down.
Was he carrying her?
Carries her in, has her blanket over, because it's cold, obviously, right now. Sat her down.
In the garage or?
Yeah, it was, she's standing there, and they kissed goodbye, whatever. He said, "I'll back to get you." I said, "Okay, bye." And I looked at her, I said, "Are you tired this morning, or you want to stay up?" She said, "I want to stay up." I said, "Okay." So we walked in, she was in front of me. I opened the door, she was in front of me. that red chair that sits right there. I sat down, started to take off my robe. She looked at me, like, can we do couch and donut? And she went to take off her jacket and just fell forward. And like I said, yeah, what are you doing? I thought maybe she tripped because was putting my robe down. Not necessarily like looking at her, and she didn't go back up.
Jason had just made it to the barn at the end of their street where the company stored supplies. He was starting up his work truck when he received a frantic call from Lindsay at 7:01 a.m., just 3 minutes after leaving her house. It took Jason only a single minute to get back to Lindsay's house. When he gets there, Hannah is lying on the floor only a few feet inside the doorway.
Okay, parents. Imagine this. You just dropped your baby out minutes ago. Come on now. When you get there, your baby unresponsive. What's going through your head? It's your little baby on the floor. What's going through your head?
To the garage.
And then her eyes were like half open, and she was non-responsive, like she was like staring at that book. You know, I'm trying to talk to her, like, Hannah, talk to daddy. It's like I wasn't even there. I told her to neck up to open her airway because she was having trouble breathing, and she like gasped, like, and then let it out, and she wasn't breathing for like a split second. And Hannah, shake her, and she stopped. And Lindsay, she said, what should I do? Should I call 911? Yeah, call 911.
So Lindsay,
what should you do? You're supposed to be a licensed take care of the worker. You're a babysitter.
Lindsay called 911 off her phone. And Lindsay was on the phone with 911 until they got there.
While on the phone with emergency services, Jason moved his daughter from the floor inside Lindsay's home to the couch in the garage. He desperately tried to comfort Hannah and keep her breathing until the ambulance arrived. About 15 minutes later, paramedics entered the garage and rushed Hannah to Fort Hamilton Hospital. Shortly thereafter, she was transported to the renowned Cincinnati Children's Hospital in critical condition. Jason claims that Lindsay asked him whether she should call 911 or not. If this is true, it's a big red flag.
That's right. I just said that. It's a big red flag. Because she trying to hide what happened to Hannah.
People experiencing a true emergency where someone is struggling to breathe would want to get help right away. But for some reason, Lindsay didn't call for an ambulance, which leads to the question, why?
Why? Okay, let's stop it right here, y'all. And we're going to stop it. She's a babysitter. Why wouldn't she dial 911? What is Lindsay trying to hide? This is not her child. This is somebody else's child. And something happened to that baby. That baby just didn't fall on that floor. Look at the floor. Is it a hard floor, tile floor? Do they say carpet?
One possibility is that panic can impair a person's course of action. People can both physically and psychologically freeze.
What?
Another is that Lindsay knows more about the cause of Hannah's injury than she's letting on. It's possible that she's trying to come up with her story first before having to provide that information to a dispatcher. This is the fabrication phase of the liar's loop.
We've talked to the doctors down to Hannah's not doing good. Okay. Whatever happened to her happened this morning.
Oh my God.
It's not from the fall from yesterday. She has a severe brain damage.
Oh my God.
So what we need is the truth from you.
That
Because
is
we need to know how this happened. That way we can treat her.
I'm absolutely telling you the truth. Oh my God.
The way it's looking right now is that this happened at your house because
We need to find out. We need the
I
truth.
swear to God, I'm telling you the exact
So,
truth. We walked in the
From
house.
what the doctor's saying, she did not walk. She did not talk with this type of injury.
When interrogators hear I swear to God statements, such as what Lindsay has just said twice, they're trying to recognize this as a sign that the suspect may be trying to make their lie sound more convincing. It's important to remember that one deceptive indicator doesn't prove that Lindsay is lying. It's possible for phrases like this or other similar statements to be part of someone's normal speech patterns. Detectives will already have a general idea about how Lindsay usually talks, since they will have gathered a baseline during the first part of the interview. If this sounds out of the ordinary for her, they will be on high alert and will likely push her further on her story.
She walked right in my house. Okay. And within 30 seconds, that I swear I'm not lying.
Notice that Lindsay's palms are face down when she insists that Hannah walked into her house. When someone makes a declarative statement with their hands palms down, this is typically seen as a high confidence position. You would expect to see this when someone is telling the truth. However, it's possible that Lindsay is feeling confident in her story even if it's not the truth. This is the version she already gave on the 911 call, and at least once to these detectives. Each time someone repeats their lie, they will feel more confident in what they're saying. That's part of the reason that detectives will point out inconsistencies in the suspect's story, because it shakes up the person's confidence, which could make it more likely for them to slip up or confess. As well, when Lindsay says, "I swear I am not lying," this is likely a convincing statement. Suspects who are...
But why did she say swear? I swear I'm not lying. Why is she talk like a babysitter? I am not lying. This is what happened. She said, I swear I'm not lying. Suspects who are lying may feel uncomfortable just denying the allegation. Absolutely, I agree with them.
Lying may feel uncomfortable just denying the allegations because they know the evidence may not support their answer. This could lead to them making convincing statements to alleviate their discomfort and make their lie sound more credible.
I would never hurt a kid in my life. My kids don't even get spanked.
Here, her hands flip to palm up, a low confidence position when she says her kids don't get spanked. This is known as the rogatory position and usually indicates that the person is pleading or begging to be believed. This can be a red flag to detectives because someone telling the truth doesn't usually need to ask to be believed.
Okay, so if you wouldn't, who would? I don't know. Okay, I believe you're not being honest with us, and you need to come clean with it. Because you're going to be a part of this. Do you understand me? Okay, as one mother to another, you can't kid. You can't joke around about this. You can't hide behind it. You need to come ahead of this and tell us what's going on and what you know. Yeah, I don't know anything that goes on there, but then I know she's mischievous. Okay, what happened this morning? Nothing in my house.
It's a red flag that Lindsay's hands are in the rogatory position while she's making a declarative statement about how nothing happened at my house. If she had nothing to do with Hannah's injury, she should be confident in her statement here, but her body language suggests otherwise.
What did he say to you?
I said, oh, her bruise looks better. And he said, yeah, because actually I put vapor rub on her. Yeah. Trying to make it cool down. And I Googled how to make a bruise look better.
It's interesting that Lindsay volunteers information about how she Googled how to make a
How
bruise.
she Google, really? Make a bruise look better. Y'all be careful with y'all babysitters.
Look better, especially given she used the phrase look better rather than feel better, suggesting she was concerned about how it appeared rather than how Hannah felt. It's possible that she's aware that her search history may be examined by detectives, and she's trying to preemptively cover her tracks.
We're talking about something that happened today, okay?
Yeah, nothing happened.
Probably not going to make it.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
We're not. So this is going to be a homicide.
We need to find out what's going on.
Oh my God.
What did he say to you this morning?
God, I'm even trying to remember what we even said this morning. I said it's snowing again.
How did he act?
Normal. Completely normal. This was a completely normal morning.
By shifting their focus to Hannah's dad, the detectives may be hoping to lure Lindsay into a false sense of security by making her think she is not the main suspect. She may be more likely to give information away if she thinks she is in the clear.
How she was acting was normal. Yes, I swear to God. I swear on my daughter's life, she walked into the house and nothing was abnormal whatsoever. Not one thing.
Look at her hands, y'all.
While pediatricians at the hospital were examining Hannah, they'd made several horrifying discoveries. In addition to the swelling in her brain, Hannah's body was covered in various scratches and bruises, including a black eye, several small
swelling in the brain, scratches and bruises, a black eye. I know she didn't hit this baby like this. All this on this face. Now, this had to happen while she was at the babysitter house. Because if the baby came in with a swelling with a black eye and scratches and bruises, she wouldn't have let the baby come in her house. She would have brought this to their attention. So the baby, where she get these bruises from? Across her chest. What happened?
multiple bruises across her chest, a scrape on her chin, a bruise on the left side of her head, as well as on her shoulder and neck, and, most concerningly, a severe swollen bruise on the back of her head. The doctors confirmed that Hannah's injuries were consistent with her being shaken, and they didn't have to speculate long before they were sure that the marks on her body were the result of abuse. This news landed Lindsay, as well as her husband and Jason, in front of detectives on March 8th. Later on the same day, Hannah fainted.
So I'm going to be very matter of fact with you. And I want you to be a matter of fact with me. And if you're sitting here telling the truth, that's great. But if you're sitting here and you're covering and you know things, then watch. Listen to the words I'm going to tell you. You will be...
Yeah.
Because this is the only spot that you're going to get a chance to cooperate. Because once we're done, and if you don't let it out, then that's on you.
Cooperation is actually available to a defendant throughout the process. In fact, cooperation at this stage is the worst possible option for Lindsay, because she's not secured the advice of her legal counsel, and therefore her cooperation only benefits the interrogators, not her.
There'll be no hands reached out to you. So the things I know for a fact.
Y'all know that the interrogators swap seats. See how they doing the interrogation room? First, the lady was over here. Now he was over here. They swapped seats so she can look at her actions while she look at him.
For a fact, are these doctors who have a lot more knowledge than, as you said, any of us. Say this. This baby was beat. Listen to me. These bruises that are all on its chest has made the doctors nauseous.
Hi, Chappelle.
That the swelling on the brain was from a beating. That her retinal in her eye is totally, it's just from the beating. When you have doctors telling you this child was beat, they've just pulled the plug on this child. This child is dead.
Oh my God.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. That's a babysitter. Those who just come in here, it's the babysitter. And the baby has so much wrong with her.
So we can't get any more serious than where we're at, Lindsay.
No, we can't.
That's what I'm saying. So
it's unclear whether the detective was fed false information here, or if he was knowingly lying to Lindsay. But at the time of this interview, Hannah actually isn't dead. She was still in the hospital in critical condition, fighting for her life. Lying during an interrogation is legal so long as the lie itself does not amount to psychological abuse. This is an interesting gray area, but likely wouldn't amount to a Fifth Amendment violation.
The beating that took place on her head was absolutely in a time frame of the time she was in her house to the time that had to be almost immediate prior to coming to your house. That there's absolutely no positive way that this child was sitting down, playing with blocks, having conversations, that it absolutely could not have happened. Have you ever seen TJ strike any of the kids?
No, he's not even around. He's hardly ever home. And when he gets
Was he
home,
there this morning and
No.
you're just covering your line?
No, he was in the barn.
Timothy T.J. Smith is Lindsay's husband and the reason that she started babysitting Hannah in the first place. TJ's father owns Smith Corp Construction, a local construction company where TJ oversaw various groups of contractors as they work on different projects. In June of 2017, TJ had hired Jason Reshion as a mechanic. At the time, Jason happened to be the sole caretaker of his young daughter. Hannah's mother allegedly struggled with addiction. Her substance use reportedly resulted in Hannah being born addicted to substances. Doctors weren't sure that she would survive her first week of life.
Okay. That's number one.
However, with her father's support and tireless work by NICU staff, she was successfully weaned off of the substances over the course of 3 months, and she would go on to grow into a healthy little girl. Before Jason started working with TJ, he and his daughter spent the majority of Hannah's life struggling with homelessness. Almost every night for 2 years, Jason would sleep inside his car so that Hannah could safely sleep at his brother's house. After landing this job, Jason was making enough money to care for his daughter, but he still had no one to watch Hannah while he worked up to 12 hours a day. Since Lindsay was already babysitting a friend's daughter, in addition to watching 2 young daughters of her own, her husband figured she wouldn't mind taking on one more little girl.
So that's 4 kids. 2 her own, Hannah, and another baby. What happened between them? What happened in that house, babysitter?
She agreed to a temporary arrangement where she would watch Hannah on a near daily basis, while Jason was at work. About a month after getting hired, Jason had another huge stroke of luck. The house right next door to Lindsay and TJ went on the market. He bought the house, and he and his daughter went from being homeless to living more comfortably than they ever had together. Soon, Jason asked Lindsay to take on the job of being Hannah's babysitter indefinitely. Lindsay agreed to watch Hannah every day except Fridays, with Hannah getting dropped off as early as 6 a.m. some mornings. In addition to just watching her for the day, Lindsay took Hannah to dance classes on Mondays, washed her clothes, regularly bathed her, and fed Hannah dinner when her father went.
So Hannah, really, come on, y'all. Really, they made, in other words, the babysitter, Lindsay, has become the mother, playing an active role as the mother while the daddy worked with her husband. Because he took Hannah to the dance. Lindsay takes the baby to the dance school, Hannah to the dance school, washes her clothes, regularly bathes her, and feeds Hannah. Come on now. She more like the mother. Because the mother not in her life.
Wasn't back to pick her up by supper time. By the time the incident had transpired, Lindsay was with Hannah the majority of the time and effectively acted as a second parent to her.
See, I just said that. She more like the parent. It's more like Hannah lives with Lindsay. So what happened? What did Hannah do to one of her kids? Cause kids gonna be kids. Babysitter. Something happened in between. I wonder how old is Hannah? How old are Hannah's kids?
Which makes it hard to believe that she would do something to hurt her so badly. Who then could it have been?
If you was to just to reach out and take a guess, tell me what's happened.
I'm sure she did something that got in trouble. She's a little mischievous.
This is at least the second time Lindsay has mentioned Hannah being mischievous, which is not a positive characteristic. Lindsay appears to be blaming Hannah for the injuries, which is another big red flag. Abusive caretakers often place blame on the child and may label the child as bad.
Is Jason capable of this? Does he have a temper? Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen him hit the kids?
No, I haven't. But I have not known him long enough to know that, and I don't feel good. I've never even been in his house.
Have you ever seen bruises on her?
Yeah, she's crystal.
Have you ever seen any bruises that you looked at and went,
Yeah.
where?
God.
I'm concerned with her head.
Yeah.
Have you seen bruises on her head? Look at me, please. I need to.
I mean, why is she acting like that? You was her second mom. It was more like, what went on with you and Jason? What happened with you and Jason? Because you married. What made you do this to that baby? Lindsay, it's a baby. You a babysitter, and you more like the mother of that baby. What happened? If you didn't want to keep it, you should have told them.
To get a good feel for you.
Yes.
Lindsay may have been caught off guard here and may be taking a break from eye contact to ease her stress as she tries to figure out the best way to answer this question. When someone has a lie prepared, they may be more likely to maintain strong eye contact to see if the lie is believed.
Okay, it got when someone has a lie prepared, they may be more likely to maintain strong eye contact to see if the lie is believed. I don't know about that part now, because I like to look at people in their eyes when I speak. That don't mean she lying. I don't agree with that part.
However, if they need to think or remember something before responding, they may break eye contact.
Okay, have you ever asked her about those bruises on her head?
No.
Why not? And I'm not trying to belittle you.
No, I know.
So,
I know. I feel like I haven't done enough.
She does a quick sigh, followed by an anchor point movement, likely two indications that she's feeling uncomfortable and trying to release nervous energy. She may feel like she's trapped. If she says that she never noticed any bruises, that makes her look like a poor caregiver. However, if she admits to seeing them, that could also make her look bad, as she never expressed any concern about how Hannah got those injuries, especially the ones to her head.
I don't know that I've asked her, but I'll say, "Oh, did you fall? Did you jump off the couch again?" Because she jumps off the couch a lot.
do you know if there's carpet over there at the house?
I've never been in there.
When you say he has a temper, I'm listening.
I've never seen it, but like when we talk about like things that go on the job site or whatever, if the guys get into a fight, like we're friends. He and I are friends. I'll kill somebody if they hurt my kid. Or like the other day, got into a fight, I guess, with more guys on the job site, and like, you don't want to do that, and you know, just stuff like that. But he's even said I have a temper.
Jason's telling us that she gets hurt a lot at your house. That she always comes home with bruises.
That's completely untrue. She comes
to my house. I don't believe that. She comes to your house with bruises. And what do you say, babysitter? Lindsay, tell the truth. Because what you're doing is taking the story and putting it on Jason. Jason need a girlfriend.
my house with bruises. So who do we believe now?
How many kids you have?
I have two myself. And I just lost one. I don't know anything other than what I told you. Like
Alright.
I don't know of anything that has happened that
could help us out with this.
other than I don't know what goes on over there, and he's gone a lot. I take care of her, and I am the one that takes care of her. She comes to my house a lot, and it's dirty clothes, not a bath. I wash her clothes. I make sure she's taken care of.
Well, here's one thing I'm gonna tell you. If you're trying to I don't know, play patty cake with the ideas that you don't want to look at him as a bad father. If you didn't kill her, he did. It's as simple as that. It's one or the other.
I didn't.
Oh Lord, what is she? What kind? Minnie, move. What? Excuse me, God. I'm sorry. Talking to my dog. What is she hiding? She's not telling the truth. Look at her, laying out on the table. What happened to this baby? She got scratches, bruises. What size of the scratches? Are they baby scratches, or what kind of scratches do this baby has?
Yeah.
Well, then, I mean, if you got some things that you think you need to tell us about him, you need to be telling us. He's not going to get Father of the Year, because if you didn't kill her, he did.
I think there's been some things going on at the job. I think he got into big trouble the other day.
Transitioning to just the female investigator is a common tactic. It takes the pressure off the suspect and can cause them to open up during a softer form of interrogation.
A trailer got hit and it could have killed somebody. Parts of them killed. I think there's some stuff going on, like with him worried about losing his job or his house or whatever.
Yeah. So you think he's got some aggression and stuff he's building up? He's upset over that?
Mm-hmm. I think they're
Yeah. I mean, I guess he had to have. How do you know about him parking that trailer there?
He told me that.
Lindsay continued to drop hints that Hannah's dad had something to do with what happened to her, but without outright saying that this is the case. The detective has clearly stated to her that it was either Lindsay or Jason, so it's not surprising that she would give reasons for why it could have been him. Both innocent and deceptive individuals would likely do this. An innocent person would know that they didn't do it, so it must have been the other person. A deceptive person knows they did do it, so they need to blame the other person if they want to get away with it. Still, detectives weren't quite sure what to think, so they decided to ask Lindsay if she'd be willing to take a polygraph exam, despite them being notoriously unreliable. Expecting her to agree, investigators were taken aback when she actually refused to take the test.
Why? Why she refused? She didn't do anything to the baby.
We can get you immediately off the radar screen if you're willing to take a polygraph and go on. We can put our focus everywhere else. Are you willing to do that?
Why would you want me to do that here?
Y'all noticed that lady stepped out and let him come in. See how interrogators do? First he wasn't in there. Now he's come in and she goes out. Let's see her personality now.
Because I'm not a lie detector. I'm taking you at just your word.
I'm all nervous.
It takes all that into consideration. If you had to take one, are you going to pass it or fail it?
I don't know.
Why?
At this point, I would pass it because I'm telling the truth.
Well, then
I'm nervous.
that's the answer I would be looking for. Nervous doesn't have nothing to do with nothing.
I don't want to do that without a lawyer. Now I'm nervous.
This is not an outright invocation of the right to counsel, but it's close. To stay on the safe side, investigators should cease all questioning until counsel is obtained and present.
Now I'm all nervous.
She thinks she don't got out of it. They're gonna let her go. She ain't going nowhere.
I've never been in this situation. I don't know what to do.
I'm just asking. All I was doing is asking. I can't give you advice on what to do. I'm just asking.
Polygraphs measure cardiovascular activity, heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory activity, breathing, and electrodermal activity, the sweat glands. The idea behind the polygraph is that perceived threats, such as being asked questions about a crime you're suspected of committing, can affect one's bodily processes, and these processes can be measured. However, some research suggests polygraph exams are not a reliable way to detect deception, as those measurements can be affected by factors other than deception. If someone is extremely worried or nervous that the test will indicate they are lying, even if they're being truthful, This anxiety may be reflected in the results and wrongfully interpreted as deception. On the other hand, someone who is a very savvy liar, such as a psychopath, may feel very confident in themselves, and therefore the polygraph may not show deception when it actually is present.
Ooh, that
Polygraphs should
thing
instead
messing
be
up.
seen as a tool to
Y'all see this? Y'all see this polygraph test? Ooh, my God. This is not good for you, Lindsay.
detectives can use to gather information, along with body language analysis, verbal responses, witness statements, and physical evidence.
Can we get, do you care to kind of headset so we can jump your phone and get the timeline for the text messages and call 911 so that we can have all that? Okay, let me go get the phone real quick and I'll just okay. All right.
Shortly after Lindsay signed the consent form that gave police permission to search her phone, she stated that she wanted to leave, with no hard evidence to keep her there.
With no hard evidence to keep her there. Officer had to, oh my God. Oh Lord. Ugh. But see, she don't know the baby in the hospital. Y'all, she think the baby is deceased. But they gonna have to let her go.
Officers had to let her go. Lindsay then waits inside the station for DJ, her husband, who's also being interrogated just a few rooms away.
So what happened this morning, man?
Dude, I ain't got a clue. I wasn't there. Well, I wasn't there when it took place. I'm at the office, looked out in the ambulance lights.
How well do you know Jason?
Not real good at all. He started, I met him through an operator buddy of mine that come to work here. We've been looking for people trying to get better people. He said, I got a good guy that's a decent mechanic, whatnot. So, time pretty much to cool your heart. That's probably been a year ago.
Is it reliable?
Yeah.
Any problems with him as far as arguments or not doing what you're supposed to, get along with people? Or
He did 2 days ago about get fired. He's on a job at trailer. People are so stupid. That steep street, we got a pipe trailer 40 foot long. He went down and unhooked that trailer on the street like that. Right above Route 8, like it's going into the highway if something happens. So he blocked it on the street like that, like they just squeeze on fire right there.
right.
So we've been reprimanding, talking to him yesterday.
TJ's story about Jason almost getting fired is consistent with what Lindsay told investigators. This doesn't mean that everything Lindsay has
What? Consistent with what Lindsay told investigators. I hope that this doesn't mean that everything Lindsay had said is true. And maybe the baby did have bruises on her from the dad. That's it. Oh my gosh. They need to check on this baby.
is true, but it could indicate that Jason's stress level was higher than usual at the time Anna was injured. It appears that both Jason and Lindsay were experiencing major stressors around the time Anna was hurt, with Lindsay having a miscarriage and Jason at risk of losing his job.
So did you see the baby girl? Did you see Hannah laying there when the squad was there, or the squad right took off?
This morning when I walked in, the squad was going, they went in ahead of me and had her in the garage, put her on a couch and was trying to get packets open. And, I did hear her shake her hair, and Jason standing there, they was all huddled around her. I turned the light on. And they said finally a tear rolled out of her eye. That's all they said was there's a tear out of her eye.
You got any questions for us?
Yeah, what's going on? There's something going on.
Baby's in bad shape. Yeah. So,
And that's what I'm doing. And then she called me when she was down here and said, hey, they're coming to get the toy. And I'm like,
yeah, we have.
straight up, I said, no, I know how y'all watch police movies all the time. I'm like, now you're.
That's a problem. You watch too much police movies.
Yeah, I'm not there. I'm not involved. I ain't nothing to do with it. I ain't know what's going on. I'm like, oh, am I home or sure it's all right? So,
I believe he was at work. Jason is the one they need to give a polygraph test to.
you know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, what I did, so I called the attorney. Like, hey, man, this seems weird, like they're collecting evidence and they ain't saying nothing. She's very, like, in a corner. She don't play. She ain't, you can tell. But kids that are messed up and messed up parents, they're not normal kids. She's very, like, she's very introverted, very kid. So I always thought something wrong with her. Then this happened a few months, but her plan was it would fall. But she falls all the time.
Right.
TJ gives a very different description of Hannah compared to Lindsay. As mentioned earlier, abuse.
Whoa. Whoa.
Some caregivers are more likely to describe the child in a negative manner and will blame the child for the abuse. The conversation with TJ didn't get them any closer to understanding what happened to Hannah. So once investigators were done with him, officers escorted him and his wife out of the police station, and the couple made their way to the hospital to see Hannah. Earlier that morning, detectives had already made their rounds at the hospital getting statements from the victim's family, including Hannah's older sister, Caitlin.
So you just heard something. Okay. You currently live in the house
My mom.
with your mom. Hannah's your stepsister now.
It is my house.
Your half sister, okay. Do you stay with your father often?
Weekends, things like that.
Is there anything that would make you feel that what happened was done in malice? Was
Like she didn't fall?
Yes.
Like it wasn't an accident?
Yes, is what I'm asking.
I mean, she goes to Lindsay's Monday through Thursday, and she goes to a different babysitter on Friday.
Okay,
For some reason, she wants to go to that babysitter on Wednesdays.
okay.
That's the only thing I have to say.
Have you ever spoken to Lindsay?
I go over there, and because I'm a cosmetologist, so I go over there and I do her hair.
Okay.
And she's coming out.
What type of person is Lindsay?
She's nice, and she is with the kids that are on the same age as Hannah.
Does anything seem odd about her?
I mean, her kids were kind of rambunctious, so she didn't get like mad, like she didn't snap at them.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your dad. What type of guy is he?
My dad is my best friend. I mean, that was my whole heart. He's been there for me more than anybody else has.
Okay.
Yeah, the girls who's speaking now, that's baby Hannah half sister. They got the same dad.
I've been, these past few years, I've been going through a lot of stuff, and he's always been the one to take care.
So he's kind of your rock then?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, you looked at your dad in the room and you asked him very concerningly that, did she really hit her head? Did she really hit her head? Well, what would make you ask him that?
So I mean, if a kid's gonna fall and hit their head,
Wow. Oh my God. Now, what made the half sister say, did she fall and hit her head? Oh my gosh.
it obviously has to be pretty hard for it to start bleeding like that.
Sure.
So I'm just concerned whether somebody maybe pushed her and made her fall, or somebody hit her and made her fall, or somebody hit her and just hit her and made her hit her head and hurt her like that.
Did you change your clothes? Help her change your clothes or anything?
Gave her a bath Saturday.
Did you see marks on her?
I mean, not like abuse marks. I mean, she probably had some bruises on her legs or something.
Okay. Did she have bruises on her neck or her
She
chest?
did have a bruise on her chest right here.
She had one bruise on
What? She had one bruise on her chest. Several? So this happened before she got to the babysitter house, just like Lindsay said.
the chest or several?
One, I think I just seen one greenish bruise.
Next, David Latham, Hannah's grandfather, who she spent every other weekend with, provided some interesting insight into his final interactions with her.
Have you ever noticed any kind of change in her?
Yes.
You have?
The last few weeks.
She crying, y'all. She crying. That's not good. Last few weeks, I was telling my family
I was just telling my family that I thought
maybe she didn't like this babysitter.
maybe she didn't like this babysitter.
She had 2 marks on her arm. Oh, first I was thinking that it was her dad, and now I'm thinking it's Lindsay.
2 months on her arm, which were probably still there.
She was probably still there.
And they're still over the weekend. I got fingerprint on it.
like a fingerprint mark. What? And I asked her, what? Y'all, this is the house where she lived with her daddy.
So I asked her, she's 3, she speaks pretty good, and she's on a babysitter. And I noticed there's a bruise on her chest. And that last weekend I had her, which was 2 weekends ago, I noticed there was a bruise around here on her, and I asked her about that, and she said babysitter.
I guess she's been going to Lindsay for 8 months.
I've been seeing bruises on her pretty much the whole 8 months.
The whole 8 months?
Pretty much.
The whole 8 months? Something ain't right. Something ain't right about this. Cause she had bruises on her. Why her daddy not saying anything? And why do this dad have his daughter? He can't handle that little bitty baby.
Here and there, but I've been thinking, okay, little kid, fall down here. This time you get a bruise here and a bruise here.
Have you ever asked Jason?
Yeah, I've asked him several times. What's up? Is this babysitter a good babysitter? And I told him, I said, I've asked her, I saw a bruise on her, and he says, yeah, they had another daughter close to her age, and a rough house, there's other kids,
and that's what the babysitter's relaying to Jason?
I assume.
She ever say anything or that hurts her?
No, she wasn't dead.
Investigators also spoke with Jason.
Has Hannah ever told you anything about Lindsay?
I mean, there's times she says she doesn't want to go.
Yeah, this is the dad. This is Jason. It's the dad. Listen to his story.
Or she doesn't want me to leave her. She never wants me to leave her. I don't care where. I don't care if it's my daughter or Lindsay or Sandy. That little girl's known me since the day she's been born. So I'm pretty much all she knows of her sister. So she never wants me to leave her.
But she never says she spanks me or she's rough with me.
There was one time that Vivian, Lindsay's daughter, and Hannah, they were playing on the crib, and she fell and hit her chin. And she didn't want to tell me that she was climbing on the crib because she wasn't supposed to. Lindsay told me. And I asked her, I said, what happened? She said, Lindsay hit me.
What? She old enough to talk though, y'all. So Lindsay, please don't tell me Lindsay abusing this girl, y'all. Please don't.
And I'm like, Hannah, what happened? She said, I was playing on the crib.
Okay.
So I'm
assuming you can normally get to the truth with her.
Right away.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the only time she's ever said that.
Okay.
She just didn't want to get in trouble because she was just told the day before not to climb on the crib.
Okay.
And her and Lindsay's oldest one was climbing on the crib. So Lindsay took it down. Took her down.
Oh! I hope Hannah didn't fall. Oh, Dad, you got guns all over the house.
Possible that Hannah only changed her story because she felt like her dad didn't believe her. Sometimes parents may ignore red flags like this because they need to justify.
Yeah, and that's the only time she's ever said that.
Jason. Initially, Lindsay.
Went to her head, she's like, Daddy, my head hurts. And I thought maybe she was playing hard or whatever, had a headache. But then I thought it was for attention because she was like, Daddy, my head hurts. We kissed it. I kissed it. And then she's like, that's better. Thanks. She won't quit.
How often would she tell you?
She's probably told me that 3 times. And I even asked the neurosurgeon. I told him, I said, this is what she told me. I said, is this something that could have been happening or going on within the last few weeks? You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at the house. He need a woman there with him. He don't need to be around that little girl, his daughter like that. Because he don't have time for no children. That's why Lindsay have the kids all the time. Her baby.
And he said no. He said that the trauma that she had to her head happened within the last few hours. I know it didn't happen in my house. She fell asleep on the couch, she woke up on the couch. And then when they said she fell.
With all of this in mind, investigators weren't quite done with Lindsay yet. It wasn't long before police were at her front door again. 2 detectives paid a visit to Lindsay's home around 9 a.m. the very next morning and summoned her to the station. They explained that they wanted to clarify some details of her story and talk with her a little more about Jason.
Lindsay looking kind of rough right now. So they brought Lindsay, this the babysitter, down to the station to ask her about Hannah's dad.
Initially, Lindsay told detectives that she couldn't come to the station right away,
What?
since no one would be available to watch her daughters until later that afternoon. However, the officers insisted that Lindsay needed to come with them immediately. Just a little while later, Lindsay and her 2 daughters were in her van, following officers down to the police station.
What?
Once in the interrogation room, investigators got to questioning Lindsay more about Hannah. Lindsay's explanation of what had happened that day simply wasn't matching up to the reality of Hannah's injuries. In order to possibly clear Lindsay's name, detectives needed an explanation for every single injury found on Hannah's body the day she was admitted into the hospital.
We're going to show you some pictures,
Okay,
but so we just kind of want you to point out
okay,
all the bruises and all the
Okay.
small little nicks and
Oh, she talking too fast. Slow down. Slow down. Sheesh.
scratches that you were aware of,
gotcha.
and exactly how they happened,
Okay.
and all that stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
We got quite a few.
Okay,
They may or may not be easy to look at. You know.
Asking a non-parent caregiver to explain every small scratch, scrape, and bruise is an interesting tactic. This is a way to elicit both conflicting statements and prior knowledge, both useful depending on which direction the investigation goes, determining whether or not this is a case of aggravated assault versus criminal gross negligence.
Exactly where she fell and on her chin. She didn't even, her hand didn't even hit. Like what she was doing, and I can show you how she was running like this, and then looked back and went like that. Literally.
Did she slide? Or?
No, it was just bam.
That don't sound right. That don't sound right, y'all. If a baby fall, her hands got to be in front of her, on the side of her. And what's she smiling about? Something wrong with her. I wonder what.
Bam.
When describing the hit, her hands and verbal bam don't line up. Mismatched verbal and physical gestures are a red flag that the words from her brain aren't matching up with her actions, and there is some cognitive disconnect often associated with dishonesty.
Yeah. She got right back up and kept running. I said, "Hey, are you okay? I'm okay."
So all of these small little bruises and the ones on the chin
Yes, I know about those right there.
and even the
Yes,
one on
yes,
the neck
there's another one on the chin. Yep,
and the neck.
yep, yep.
That's all
yes.
from that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
You saw, I mean,
The next,
that's
it was,
up,
yes.
up under her chin like that. So
Well,
she would have been extended pretty far.
She went like that. Yeah,
Okay. And what day did this happen?
Tuesday.
This week.
Yes. Tuesday when it was nice out. It was
Is that the same day?
noon, 11
Okay.
that morning. We went out before lunch.
Okay.
Same day as the train?
No, the training was Wednesday.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So which side did she fall on Wednesday when she fell off the train?
her right.
The right side.
Yes, she smacked her face on the right.
Her right side on the train?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Her right side. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to
No, you're
think of
fine.
everything.
You're fine. So it's probably that wasn't the train then.
Is that the
That's
left
on
side?
your left
Oh,
side.
yeah. I obviously cannot tell my right from my
No,
left.
that's. But you're sure that she fell on her right side off the train.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm positive.
Pause. Okay. All right.
So I didn't actually see the train. I haven't seen the train. How tall is the train?
Not that high off the ground. She was standing up on it.
Yeah.
Doing the surfing thing.
Yeah.
And it went out from the side and she went down like that. Her arms out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And smacked.
Smack the right side of the face.
Yeah. And I freaked out, ran out there. I'm like, "Are you okay?" She jumped back up and she said, "Yeah, I'm fine." I said, "Let's go back on it. Let's sit down in the park."
What was she complaining of?
Headache. Her head hurt.
Jason was also asked about this incident.
Any type of falls, injuries to your daughter, anything right then?
She told me that she got up on that toy and the toy came out from under her and she hit her face on the handlebar and gave her a black eye.
Okay. Did she tell you what kind of toy it was?
It was a little 4-wheel plastic bike, I guess, or maybe like a little scooter type deal, a little toddler toy that pull herself around on.
Okay. And that's what she actually slipped on?
That's it, yeah, it was a little train. And she
So-
slipped.
But she wouldn't have got no black eye. They wouldn't have called her to have a black eye. Hitting this thing right here. They got to tell the truth.
Right.
She stood up on the seat instead of sitting on it. She stood up on it.
Okay.
As soon as she stood up on it, Lindsay said it kicked out from under her. So she didn't have time to get up.
So the eye that you were
Both
you
her
noticed
left
the
eyes. I don't even know.
right, yeah.
It is real. That's the. I mean, she fell on her face on the side off the choo-choo train. I'm not happy. The pictures and mirroring is not good for me.
Well, that's how she would be looking at you. Yeah. But if you were putting ice on her face, obviously.
But yeah, it was the left side. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I still like. Yeah.
So when she fell off the train,
Yes, she did. Yep.
she hit her face,
Yep.
and now you're saying that it's the left side. Of
Yeah, I was thinking because she fell to the left.
This is the first change Lindsay made to her story.
She don't know what she talking about. Lindsay, get it together.
However, it won't by any means be the last. Be warned, these changes only get more graphic and tell a steadily more horrifying story.
You were saying the right side. None of this was on her right side from the train, you're saying.
No, that's from the gravel. She literally bit it.
Okay.
Full force running.
And you said when she totally bit it, her head was going down towards the ground.
Yeah,
She hit that, a baby like that, hit it that hard. Something ain't right, Lindsay. You making an excuse for somebody, someone.
Back her chin.
Her chin right here?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's the problem. There's no mark directly on the point of her chin. We're looking
There's
at marks.
very little to no bruising right there in the middle. It's on the left
Yeah.
and on the right.
Like I said, I was far away too. I was
And
right
then-
behind them, so.
And then up underneath.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when people fall, you're gonna have bruising on the sharp points. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be this point, none here, and then some here. Or if you're over here, you're gonna have some here.
And she could have. I don't know. I honestly,
Or you have some
I was
here.
just coming out the door and
If
then
you fall straight forward, you're not gonna have.
Adding the word honestly to her statement is known as a perception qualifier, the purpose of which is to make one statement sound more credible. Detectives will be listening for qualifiers, but they're generally only seen as red flags if there are multiple qualifiers used within a short period of time.
Bruising over here, and none in the middle.
Yeah.
And then
Bruising would have been here, and up underneath there would have been no bruising.
that's a soft spot that your body naturally protects. 'Cause
Yeah.
the way your body's
That's why it's tucked in.
like it's tucked in. And that's what we're getting. That's why we wanted to come down and fill in some of these holes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, I've been pretty honest with you this morning. A lot of these aren't adding up to a fall on the gravel.
Yeah.
And here's another thing on the chest. Once again, you don't have to be a doctor. You've got to be a mom.
Yeah.
You're a dad. Okay. You see that bruise?
Mhm.
What's that kind of look like? Is it older? Older. Yeah. It's older. There's some yellowing all through here, and then see this here?
Mhm.
That looks. What would you say?
Older.
To me, that looks brand new.
Oh, okay.
That is newer than even.
Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know.
So what it kind of looks like is that these are all from a different time.
Yeah. And like I said, she is well. I don't think that she's been. I really don't think that she's been hurt.
Like I said, is a referral statement intended to raise someone's belief in a story, because the more you repeat something, the more other people believe it. She's also significantly increased her hair flipping, moving, and face stroking, all of which are self-soothing techniques associated with anxiety and deception.
Now this is from a senior neurologist.
Yeah.
Okay, do y'all believe Lindsay? Is it anyone out there believe Lindsay? If you believe Lindsay, when you get a chance, if you believe Lindsay is telling you the truth, hit a 1. When you get a chance, hit a 1. If you don't believe she telling the truth, hit a 2. This is Lindsay, the babysitter.
He's telling us that the brain injury that she sustained was absolutely not 24 hours prior or even an hour prior. The injury that caused this, or the incident that caused this brain injury,
Yeah.
was immediate. So whatever happened did not happen prior to her getting to your house. was
I
absolutely
believe
instant.
you.
Okay? So if you believe that it's instant, you're agreeing that, okay, she fell because she got hit. Or something happened. Something caused this, okay, in her head. She fell because of that. All right? What caused that?
What accident caused this?
She opened the door and hit the concrete step. She
When?
tripped Thursday morning.
Walking into the house?
Yes. So when I opened up the door, she was coming through and she slipped on that concrete step and the metal part. She hit the metal part on her eye.
I don't know. She may be telling me. Yeah, I believe she changing the story now because the investigator already told her what happened. Now she trying to use psychology on them and flip the story and go by what they said. So she don't know the truth.
Sure.
Going into the house, the carpet. And so I got her back up and she stood up and looked up at me and did say, I want donut and couch, and then collapsed.
Lindsay changed her story for a second time in an attempt to justify the chilling injuries Hannah suffered to her eye. To detectives, Lindsay had started showing signs of being a habitual liar. It's possible that she could have a personality disorder, such as antisocial or narcissistic personality disorder, which would explain why she lied so convincingly. Even still, detectives didn't seem to be buying into her story.
So then she gets up. Is the stuff about, do you want to go back to bed or what? Is that all that true?
Yeah, she got back up and
She
looked
got
at me
up.
and said, donut, I want
Asked
butter
for a donut.
Yeah.
Okay. And then collapsed. And he collapsed. Okay.
And I thought she was having a seizure. I didn't think that was her. I thought
this
the Wednesday was her.
listen. That's not what happened.
The detective interrupts her when she
Lindsay, they played you, girl. Those investigators played you, sister. They was leading you that way. They want you to tell the truth. You don't change the story 5 times.
She tries to claim she thought it was a seizure. The more someone tells a lie, the more confident they may become about it. And the detective doesn't want that to happen here. Instead, he wants to shake Lindsay's confidence so that she'll continue to get closer to confessing.
Absolutely. I just said that they were doing that. They didn't want her to become confident in her lie. They want to shake her confidence. I told you, girl. I told you they were trying to get you, and you fell in the trap.
Happened to Hannah.
It is, I promise.
No, that's not what happened.
When Lindsay makes this declarative statement, one of her palms is up while the other is facing down.
Wow, y'all see that? One of her arms is up and the other one is facing down. Boy, them investigators smart.
Indicate that she may feel conflicted about what she is saying, as it is an unconfident body position. If she'd been feeling confident in her statement, both palms would likely have been down.
It is.
The doctor said when this injury occurred, she was out. We've come a long way. We got past that. Okay, you're right there. You're right there.
Confrontation with evidence counter to a suspect's story is commonly employed by the Reed interrogation method. What's interesting here is the investigators using medical forensic evidence in this case. Often it's crime scene or statement evidence, so this is interesting to see in an interrogation.
Thank you.
When I opened the door, I dropped her. And I slipped up though.
What's what happened?
So I slipped on her blanket when I opened the door, and we both went down, and she hit that concrete step really hard.
Where at? On her head?
On her face. I was holding her on the left side. And when I slipped, it hit her side.
That don't sound right,
Actually,
y'all.
on the door coming down, that she smacked her face, her head really hard.
I don't believe that, y'all. What is wrong with Lindsay? I wonder if Lindsay on any type of substances, because she done told so many different lies.
And then what happened?
We got up. I tried to get her to come to. She did ask me for a donut and couch out in the garage, not inside, but she did when we first walked in. And Jason walked out. She
So now you're saying she asked that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I fell. She fell.
Where were you at when you fell?
Against the door, trying to get the door open. I was holding her. The blanket was kind of like falling because he had handed her to me, and I put her down. And then I picked her. No, he put her down, and when he walked out the door, I picked her up with the blanket, and it got tangled up. And when I opened up the door, it got tangled, and I slipped.
Finding her revised answer to still be unsatisfactory, Lindsay changes her story yet again. This is perhaps the most disturbing version since it describes what must
This
have
woman is lying. Her lies are getting worse.
been a very painful event for Hannah. Still, this version doesn't make logical sense. If it truly were an accident, Lindsay would have had no need to lie about it the entire time. Hannah was someone she took care of almost as frequently as her own biological children. If she was responsible for an accident that led to Hannah's death, it's reasonable to expect that Lindsay would feel tremendous guilt and express remorse over what happened. However, she's not done this yet, which could suggest that it wasn't an accident.
Back to under the chin here. This absolutely did not happen from a fall on a flat driveway. Okay?
Yeah. I believe you.
Okay.
How'd that happen?
So what happened to her neck?
I do not know. I thought it was the gravel in the fall.
Remember we went through this and you told us how you agreed with us that some of this stuff was
Yeah,
older?
of course.
Okay. So it's the exact same size as the fresh ones. And they look very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So either has she fallen on that very same gravel a couple of times, different stages?
It could be. I don't know. They gravel at his house too.
Okay.
I think you know about these two.
I don't know about this.
I think you do.
I don't. I honestly don't.
I'm positive you do.
Yeah.
Why would you think I know about them?
Because you just lied to us.
You lied 5 times, Lindsay. You lied to them 5 times right there in the investigator's face. You got to, why won't you, why she's not, what is she hiding, y'all? Something went on before Hannah, before him.
How many times?
Well, you are. We did even how many times to tell us how what happened in the fall. Okay?
Can you see how that doesn't look good?
Yeah.
And we understand you call for help. Okay? We're not getting mad at you or anything. We just want to know what happened. We want everything to happen. We want to know how that happened. We want to know how that happened. We want to know how the fingers, these things happened. This morning, the doctors called and said, tell us what happened. What you're being told.
Yeah.
The doctor said,
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that. I really don't.
And here's another thing. Okay. Dad obviously, every time she comes home with a newspaper bruise, Dad asked her, what happened?
Yeah.
I know you told him.
Yeah.
But he's doing what any other dad would say.
Of course.
So what is she telling Dad whenever he says, what happened here? What happened there? What happened here? What's the one word, the one thing she was saying?
I don't know.
Babysitter.
This statement isn't exactly true. As we heard earlier, that statement
Y'all be careful with y'all babysitters, honey. You got a little girl, the girl, I don't know if she's still alive or what, but they just said she was. But you got a babysitter like this, you see what they do? When they do something to your child, lie after lie.
statement actually came from David, Hannah's grandfather. Perhaps the detectives are using Jason to elicit an emotional response based off of the personal relationship he had with Lindsay.
I really don't know what this said.
Start with these. How do these get here?
Also, Lindsay used to go with him. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. He just said Lindsay used to go with him. Hold on.
Someone tells a lie, the more confident they may become about it. And the detective doesn't want that to happen here. Instead, he wants to shake Lindsay's confidence so that she'll continue to get closer to confessing what really happened to Hannah.
It is, I promise.
No, that's not what happened.
When Lindsay makes this declarative statement, one of her palms is up while the other is facing down. This could indicate that she may feel conflicted about what she is saying, as it is an unconfident body position. If she'd been feeling confident in her statement, both palms would likely have been down.
It is.
The doctor said when this injury occurred, she was out. We've come a long way. We got past that. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right there. You're right there.
Confrontation with evidence counter to a suspect's story is commonly employed by the Reed interrogation method. What's interesting here is the investigators using medical forensic evidence in this case. Often it's crime scene or statement evidence, so this is interesting to see in an interrogation.
Thank you.
When I opened the door, I dropped her. And I slipped and fell.
Tell us what happened.
So I slipped on her blanket when I opened the door, and we both went down, and she hit that concrete step really hard.
Where at? On her head.
On her face, yeah, 'cause I was holding her on the left side. And when I slipped, hit her side, I actually hit my head on the door coming down, but she smacked her face, her head really hard on that concrete step.
Okay, and then what happened?
We got up. I tried to get her to come to. She did ask me for a donut and couch out in the garage inside, but she did when we first walked in and Jason walked out. She
So now you're saying she asked that before?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I fell and she fell.
Where were you at when you fell?
Against the door, trying to get the door open. I was holding her. The blanket was kind of like falling because he had handed her to me, and I put her down, and then I picked her. No, he put her down, and when he walked out the door, I picked her up with the blanket, and it got tangled up. And when I opened up the door, it got tangled, and I slipped.
Finding her revised answer to still be unsatisfactory, Lindsay changes her story yet again. This is perhaps the most disturbing version since it describes what must have been a very painful event for Hannah. Still, this version doesn't make logical sense. If it truly were an accident, Lindsay would have had no need to lie about it the entire time. Hannah was someone she took care of almost as frequently as her own biological children. If she was responsible for an accident that led to Hannah's death, it's reasonable to expect that Lindsay would feel tremendous guilt and express remorse over what happened. However, she's not done this yet, which could suggest that it wasn't an accident.
Back to under the chin here.
Mm-hmm.
This absolutely did not happen from a fall on a flat driveway. Okay?
Yeah. I believe you.
Okay.
How that happened?
So what happened to her neck?
I do not know.
Yeah, this baby got a big bruise on her neck. Like somebody, how she get a bruise on her neck? It could have, I don't know.
I thought it was the gravel in the ball.
Yeah, it wasn't.
We remember we went through this and you told us how you agreed with us that some of this stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so it's the exact same size as the fresh ones, and they look very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So either has she fallen on that very same gravel a couple of times, different stages?
Could be. I don't know. They have gravel at his house too.
Okay.
I think you know about these two.
I don't know about this.
I think you do.
I don't. I honestly don't.
I'm positive you do. Yeah.
Why would you think I know about them?
Because you just lied to us. How many times?
Lie.
What?
We are. We
You
do.
do.
Even how many times you tell us what happened in the fall. Okay.
Can you see how that doesn't look good?
Yeah.
And we understand. You called for help. Okay. We're not getting mad at you or anything. We just want to know what happened. We want to know everything that happened. We want to know how that happened. We want to know how that happened. We want to know how the fingers, these things happened. This morning, the doctors called and said, tell us what happened. What you're being told.
Yeah.
The doctor said, no.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that. I really don't.
And here's another thing. Okay. Dad obviously, every time she comes home with a new scrape or bruise,
Mm-hmm.
Dad asks her, what happened?
Yeah.
I know you told him,
Yeah.
but he's doing what any other dad would say.
Of course.
So what is she telling Dad whenever he says, what happened here? What happened there? What happened here? What's the one word or one thing she was saying?
I don't know.
Babysitter.
This statement isn't exactly true. As we heard earlier, that statement actually came from David, Hannah's grandfather. Perhaps the detectives are using Jason to elicit an emotional response based off of the personal relationship he had with Lindsay.
I really don't know.
Oh, so he done had a relationship with Lindsay. And then now Lindsay is married. I got it. Now Lindsay married now with 2 kids. And she still got Jason baby over there. with her. So she could have did. She might not like the baby. The mama, Hannah mama, is on drugs.
Start with these. How do these get here?
I didn't do that. I don't know.
Okay.
I really didn't do that. I don't know.
How does this happen?
I slapped her upside the head.
With what?
My hand.
Open, closed?
Yeah, open.
When Lindsay shrugs here, only one shoulder goes up. According to body language analysis, one shoulder shrug indicates that the person isn't confident with their response. So, even though this is a pretty huge admission for Lindsay to make during such a serious investigation,
She said I smacked her upside the head. Oh, Lindsay. Oh my God, girl. This about your sixth life. Oh, Jesus. I'm my grandbaby. She's lucky to have my grandbaby.
could she still be hiding something? She may think that if she's honest about a relatively smaller incident, investigators will see her as honest and believe her story about the big incident. The investigators remain calm and non-judgmental as she admits to why she slapped Hannah. If they had a strong reaction, she would be less likely to admit to doing anything else.
What caused that?
She took all of the, I don't know why she was in trouble. She took all the ketchup out and squirted it into the toilet while I wasn't looking.
That's frustrating.
And I'm like, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. What else had she done that day? Is this like a culmination of things building up?
She did.
What day was that?
Was it last week? This week? Early this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't think that I hurt her. I really didn't.
She took the ketchup out and sprayed it in the toilet. Come on, girl. So you let the baby get the ketchup, babysitter? Wait.
After she changed several aspects of her story, Lindsay eventually began to admit that she actually was the reason behind some of the wounds found all over Hannah's body. After an hour of digging, investigators were finally striking the answers they were looking for. Answers that coincided with Hannah's injuries.
So what caused this?
I smacked her on the chin for doing ketchup. That was the same thing.
Okay. So this is the same incident.
Yeah.
Tell us about this. Because this is not a smack. I just want to tell you right now, this is not a deep bone contusion from an open-handed smack. Okay?
Still alive. Oh, have mercy. That babysitter, y'all. Better make sure you got a good babysitter. That's why I check on my grandson.
I didn't.
No, listen. Knowing that we know that, what happened here?
The same thing. It was the same incident.
Tell us, though, what happened these specific bruises.
When she was, I caught her doing the ketchup. I took it away and I put her on the body because I think she had to go pee anyway. And I said, Hannah, you can't do the ketchup.
How she get ketchup on the toilet seat?
I just slapped her upside the head and went like that.
Closed?
Yeah, like that.
How many times? Don't say once. Yeah. Because look, bruise.
Yeah.
Bruise.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he give you permission to discipline?
Yeah.
Spank and stuff? Okay.
Which I don't really spank. I don't even know why I was mad that day.
So these were closed fists like uppercuts.
Yeah.
Okay. And this was an open-handed smack. Was it really open-handed?
Yeah. Yes.
The bruises on the chest.
Honestly,
Listen.
no, I believe you.
Do you see the pattern here?
Yes.
Deny.
She don't like that baby, y'all. She don't like that baby. She just wanted to be her kids and not Jason's kids.
How about this red one down here?
I did not touch her chest. I'm definitely telling you the most positive
So
truth.
to me, it sounds like she and somebody else, but she don't tell some of the lies. So it sounds like she and someone else is working this baby. Something her and someone else did this. Either she did it all herself.
I did not touch her chest.
Okay. So look.
But I was mad that day.
Let's look at this. Okay.
And we also, sorry to interrupt, we also know exactly what these are.
Yeah.
They're, in all these cases, they're consistent. I mean, you can literally take 100 of them and put them up on the board right here, and they're all going to have the same exact bruises. And anyone who knows what they're talking about or what they're looking at will say, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this.
That's up to you, okay? We want to know what happened.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you if he gives you permission.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay. I mean, what's discipline and what's not. Look, she's not yours.
Right.
Well,
Honestly, I don't like kids that aren't mine. Does that make me a bad person?
No,
I really
I
don't.
do like kids that are mine.
Yeah.
I have a lot.
Well, then you're
I
different.
I've had some things going on. I had a miscarriage 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the miss-
It was really traumatic, and I took care of 4 days. 14.
How long ago was this?
Right at the end of February.
Have you been trying to have more time?
Yeah.
Do you know about her mother?
Second.
Look at the scratches, y'all. She's scratching that arm.
Miscarriage.
Do you know about her mother?
Oh, yeah.
About the mother?
Yeah.
Does that piss you off?
Yes. I don't know why I hurt her. I don't know why I even slapped her.
No, I'm talking
I know
about-
why I was. It was me.
Does her mother piss you off?
Yes.
I told y'all. The baby mama, she jealous of that baby. She don't like that baby. She don't like that baby because of the mama. Mama on drugs and stuff. They probably don't do drugs all together.
Hardcore. Because I
Because
was
you're
never.
trying to have a child. Trust me, I know. I've gone through this.
Investigators are reinforcing the sense of sincerity to keep Lindsay open and talking.
I went through this. Me and my wife went through this for like 7 years. And you see all these heads popping out these kids that can't take care of them and don't even want them.
Thank you.
This is your.
I don't do anything when I'm pregnant. Not that I do or smoke or anything anyway, but like, I don't even like drink coffee when I'm pregnant. Been having bad times.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
You have.
Your husband, what is it, fiance?
We got married, but we didn't sign a marriage certificate.
Your husband's never home.
He tries, but yeah, I'm by myself all the
And he's
time.
out.
So frustrating.
With her dad?
No,
They don't work together?
they do, but like they don't.
They don't go out.
There's so
They
many
don't-
different crews.
They don't hit a bar, nothing after.
No, he
work?
does though.
Who does?
DJ every once in a while.
So you're
Thank you, man.
longer.
Yeah.
The consented search of her phone yielded proof that her and her husband's marriage was not as good as she tried to make it seem to detectives. The couple generally argued over text message to refrain from exposing their daughters to their myriad of problems. In reality, they fought quite frequently. Just 2 days before the incident, Lindsay had found TJ in their garage drinking with colleagues after work, instead of spending his very limited free time with her and their daughters. Needless to say, Lindsay was outraged at this show of inconsideration. They bickered about this via text.
Y'all look at that face. That's that's not your typical babysitter. See, they smile when you first bring the kids over there. Oh, have a good day and everything. This is what the kids get behind the door.
Message for days straight leading up to the incident. Lindsay may have felt like she had very little control over her problems with TJ, his drinking, and her struggles with getting pregnant. But the one thing she did have control over was the kids. She may have felt like she could exert her power over them when she didn't have power or control in other situations in her life. She could also dole out whatever punishment she saw fit, and no one would intervene. Kids and pets are defenseless, which can make them a target for abuse because the abuser doesn't have to fear any retaliation.
But I love babysitting. I love my life. I really do. I want another kid. I want to watch more kids.
Do you know, have you ever had with your other one's postpartum depression or anything like that? I don't know when that.
I don't know when that started. She said she got a midterm. Girl, you don't need no more kids. They might need to check her kids out. If she did that to Jason, baby, they need to check her kids out.
Starts, but
the second one really bad.
The mention of postpartum depression is part of the READ technique method to shift blame from Lindsay towards something else. In this case, the circumstances of the miscarriage.
You're being honest with this,
Yeah.
with everything.
Yeah.
The hard part is just saying it out loud. Because you probably didn't say it out loud yet, right? You told DJ about it, about how you feel, about maybe going too far with him.
It's too much. It's too much on one person.
It was.
You got it out, okay? Let's finish it. Let's get all the way through, okay?
It's probably the same incident. Was it the same incident?
What happened?
Yeah, you know better.
Because
I
we know
didn't
that.
even hurt her. I wasn't even trying to hurt her. I was trying to get
This her fifth story, y'all. Did she tell their fifth lie?
her
Well,
attention.
that stuff didn't hurt her. This stuff's not what hurt her. I mean, it may have hurt, obviously, but
Yeah.
she's being disciplined.
And I'm not like that. I really am not an aggressive person. I've never even like,
Well, normally, but these aren't normal circumstances.
no, I'm not normal right now.
No,
I'm not.
no.
The detective is downplaying the injuries to make it easier for Lindsay to keep talking and admit to what really caused Hannah's traumatic brain injury. Her story is coming apart piece by piece as she continues to fold under the pressure of the interrogation.
End of February, you have the miscarriage, okay? These are at different stages of healing. Was there other times where you've got her in the chest, where some are healing and some aren't?
No, but I remember one morning she was,
What was that you just did?
I just kind of like squeezed her when I picked her up, like, because Jason was late, and that morning he
And
was,
that's what these are.
yeah.
There go her sixth story, y'all. Number six story, y'all. She don't lie 6 times.
These are little pinch bruises.
Yeah, where I
Yep.
squeezed her from,
The shirt does that.
because Jason's like, no, I gotta go, I'm in a hurry, because she kept wanting to give him more kisses, which is normal. He's like, will you grab her? I gotta go. So I remember grabbing her and squeezing her, like, Hannah, you gotta stop. Your dad.
Okay.
Your dad's gotta go.
Okay.
I remember doing that.
Lindsay admits that the bruises on Hannah's shoulders were a product of her handling the toddler roughly. At this point, she's told the investigators about almost all the bruises and scratches found on Hannah's body. All but the one that ultimately sent her to the hospital.
And now that we're being honest, we got everything out on the table, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about when she fell in her head.
The interrogator is developing the narrative at this point and reinforcing the first part of the confession.
Not the fault. Listen,
No, I'm honestly sorry.
were you mad when he dropped her off?
No.
What did
Not at all.
something happen Thursday morning
No.
that made you mad?
No.
Because
No.
it's
Not at
It
all.
sounds-
Not one thing.
the fall. I don't want to say convenient, but now that you're being honest with us, now that you're telling us everything, and we know we kind of have an idea of your mindset.
That's all that happened.
You've been
I hurt
through
myself too. I bruised myself right here. Trying to catch
Okay,
myself.
so tell
Y'all, oh my God. Oh my God. Let me skip this and see if this young lady gonna tell us the truth. Okay, hello, y'all.
You probably asked. I'm gonna ask you what her. What
Because of mischievous stuff. The other ones don't.
Yeah. He's gonna want to know why my daughter. Out of the 4 that's there, why my daughter?
Interestingly, police spoke with parents of children who Lindsay also babysat, and according to one person whose child had been in Lindsay's care for a year and a half, they never noticed any injuries on their child or anything else that indicated abuse. Another person whose daughter was also looked after by Lindsay for a year said that their child never had any bruises or complained of
Y'all probably didn't look.
being hurt.
What I just said. Just some of the mischievous things and frustration. I don't know.
Following this interrogation, Lindsay was escorted out of the interrogation room, arrested, and booked into jail.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail, sister. I hope the baby be all right, but you're going to jail.
Hannah Weshy never recovered from her injuries and
She never recovered, y'all.
passed away in the hospital 9 days later on March 18th. Interrogation where Lindsay repeatedly lied to detectives and ultimately admitted to being overwhelmed with Hannah. In a surprising twist, despite her detailed confession, Lindsay took the stand at her trial and vehemently denied having harmed Hannah at all during the day or week of the incident. She proceeded to claim that she was coerced into making false confessions because the detectives were being pushy and insinuating that Jason would take the fall if she didn't admit to something. In front of the jury, Lindsay insisted that Hannah did indeed just spontaneously pass out that morning. Not only that, but she asserted that everything else she told detectives, from the instances of her angrily hitting Hannah to Hannah.
Okay, y'all, what y'all think? I mean, this is a lesson to learn about babysitters. You know, sometimes if you blessed and you got a great babysitter, always check your baby. When you go home, check your baby arms, back, neck, everything. Every day. Check your baby. Because a lot of babysitters are great babysitter, but still always check your baby. That's mostly, and then see, he used it, the daddy used it.
Sporting the ketchup in the.
So, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It was educational, you know, for younger and older people. You know, be careful who you let babysit your daughter.
Toilet was all a lie.
I knew she lied about that. I'm done with her. Okay, y'all. That's the end of this. All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed yourself. I like to show stuff that's gonna educate the younger, you know, people. So they'll know what to do in cases like this, and choosing babysitters and stuff. Okay. I want to thank everybody for watching. I'll see y'all in the morning. My day shift, the Real Deal Live show in the morning. I will see y'all then. Like, share, and subscribe on